fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
We loved the Braithwaites. That must have been so much fun to make, wasn't
wonderful.
it? Wasn't it great?
It was great. Long time ago now, though.
A very long time ago. It never seems a long time, does it?
No.
Until you see the clips and think, gosh, it was. And sadly, I don't want to start on a sad note, but that is where you met turned out to be your great friend Linda Bellingham when you were making that show.
Yes.
Yeah. And was it an instant friendship?
Yes, it was. I mean, I'd actually met her quite a few years beforehand, but we became firm friends on Braithwaites and spent many jolly evenings.
A year since Linda died, which, you know, we miss her terribly from here.
And
but I think we must remember with happiness as well.
Oh,
because
well, you can't help that, can you? I mean,
she was a life force, wasn't she?
Certainly
She really was. Anyway, on a happier note, let's talk about the trials of Jimmy Rose. Don't tell me what happened in this week's, because I've recorded it. But it is fabulous. And you and Ray Winstone were mates, aren't you? So this must have been nice to work together again.
Yeah, we've actually worked together a few times since Sexy Beast, which was
I love Sexy Beast. Did you like that? Oh, it's one of my favourite films of all time.
Was there enough rumpy-pumpy for you?
No, and Ben Kingsley, it's his standout role as a completely evil psychopath.
Yeah.
You never look at Ben Kingsley the same way again.
No, he was wonderful, wasn't he? Really, really was.
It's a fabulous film.
And is that the time you worked, first time you worked with Ray on
that was the first time we worked together. And then, but again, like Linda, I'd met him, you know, years before, but we hadn't actually worked properly together. And then since then, he was in the Braithwaites. He came and did one episode playing a London cabbie in the Braithwaites, and then I went and did a guest thing in Vincent for him, and then this.
So now that you're close friends, was it strange kissing him in your new show?
Well, I first had to kiss him in Sexy Beast, of course. I think we've had another snog since then.
Okay. All right, so you've been at
Vincent,
it.
I think so, yeah. But it's always a bit, we just laugh.
Yeah.
You know.
But is it easier?
Our teeth get in the way. It's really weird.
Like kissing a mate, though.
It's much harder. It's much harder because you go, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the premise of the story, if anyone hasn't seen it yet, is this is an ex-con, 12 years in prison.
Yeah.
And he comes out, and it's him trying to settle back into family life, but they seem to have moved on and gotten quite well without him.
Yes. Well, I think it's more that she personally, she absolutely had to. She had no choice. And in fact, that was his second stint inside, because he went in for 10 years. And so they've actually spent more years apart than they have together, you know. So really, I think that must be incredibly hard. And I liked the fact that the drama was concentrating on that, because it's a slightly different angle to one that is normally taken.
You said that TV bosses, once women get in their 50s, TV bosses kind of lose all interest in them, and that most TV actresses of that age get quite dreary roles.
Yes.
But you seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. Thank you. I'm really lucky, but the truth is, you know, that's one a year.
Yeah.
And the same doesn't apply to blokes in their 50s. And I just think the balance should be equal.
Yeah. Well, you are still working. You play wife Jackie to Ray Winstone's Jimmy. Does she still love him deep down, even though he kind of abandoned them, really, through his criminal behaviour?
You know, he's in her DNA, really. We worked out that they'd grown up together. They'd probably been, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend since they were about 14, and she will always love him, and he's the father of her kids. But she has tried very hard to be her own person, which I think she found very difficult, but eventually she managed it, and now she's thinking, no, you're not going to come back and expect to fit in where you did before. You know?
Earlier we were talking about TV hunks and Lady Chatterley's lover. Do you agree with me that Poldark was a bit of a benchmark? Again. What do you think about it? Yes! Hurrah!
I do, yes. Yes, I certainly do. Yeah. And I'm not saying any more than that.
You've got a younger husband, haven't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
14 years?
Yes.
Good for you! Do you miss new tricks?
I left 2 years ago and had the most wonderful time. And I miss working with my old boys. because they were just gorgeous, and we had such a happy time together. But you know, everything has to come to an end.
You know, I wasn't really expecting, you know, what happened, and of course, you know, the lyric and the song, and, you know, it was quite difficult because I thought, God, this is going to be really hard to sit through this. But then you've got to think of him, and it's his moment. Yeah, it was very emotional. Yeah.
And she
I
was
mean,
a
you
big
couldn't
fan,
speak, could
wasn't she? Massive fan of
She
the
was
show.
a huge fan, Ruth,